so we can watch Peter.
Oh.
I like the soup here.
Yeah. Well, I tried to be a quiz master here, but this is a nice question to start off with, right?
Yeah. Well, boys, we're we got a little bit of a different thing going today. So just before we start, guys, I just want to let you know I was pretty busy this week. I had a wedding and stuff, so unfortunately, our little intro, Byron left. He sent me this wicked track that I wanted to get for our pre-show, but it's going to have to wait till next week. And I'm slowly starting to work through this editing stuff because now that I've got a little bit more of a new studio, a new computer, and things are rolling, I'm just trying to learn some tricks of the trade. So our interviews will be flying out soon. So that being said, you want the questions up already, Peter?
Yeah, by accident, but
Okay.
if you want, we can start right away.
Oh, no. Well, let's just do a quick intro, and we got something planned for everybody today. Maybe we'll just give a couple minutes just for people to come on. How are you guys doing? What's been going on?
All good, sir. All good. Another busy week.
Yeah. Any news to report this week?
Well, apart from all these bleeding carnivores on social media going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And then you have this Lisa Witterman. She's all over social media now, showing off her physique. Apparently, these carbohydrates are working for
her. Okay.
Well, I liked your last video of like this 10-minute video in which she gave a little bit of nuance about behind this approach. So it was quite reasonable. I mean, I don't agree with the idea that it's really necessary, but.
We had a few podcasts and we spoke a little bit about this week. And I mean, at the end of the day, I want to make this perfectly clear. I don't know the lady. I don't know her at all.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that what she's doing is wrong. I'm just saying that the information that she's giving out she's giving out the wrong message, in my opinion. If you want to implement carbohydrates into your diet and it works for you, no problems. I don't have any issues with that. The issue I have is you've been a carnivore for such a long time. You've been saying for a very, very long time that carbohydrates are non-essential in the diet. And now all of a sudden you're telling people that carbohydrates should be coming in the diet and we should be focusing on weight loss. And that's for me, I've been carnivore for 5 years. So imagine me going tomorrow and saying, right, okay, from tomorrow, I'm going to add carbohydrates into my diet. I'm going to look even better than what I look right now. I'm just misleading the public.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Well, we will get into it today, but I just want to do a quick introduction and then we'll run the theme. So welcome into the Meat of Matter, everybody. Thanks for joining us here live on Sundays. We are live on Sundays. My time zone caught up today, guys, so I didn't have to wait an hour. It's 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands and continental Europe. Whatever Greenwich or whatever mean time that is, that's what Peter's on. So we are here Sundays, and thanks for everybody tuning in on Instagram and YouTube, all our channels. We'd like to thank Byron Funk for all the music that he does for our show. Next week we'll have a pre-show, I promise. This week it was a little bit tight for my schedule, so we have to postpone it, but that's okay. He's got a banging track for next week. Also, please support this cause, guys. We are getting railroaded at every level, from the government to the experts. It's time now more than ever. If you're a carnivore, support the carnivore community worldwide. Support Carnivore Evolution, Mark's other podcast with Victoria Olsen. And thanks for supporting us here at the Meat of the Matter, because we need to unite, be strong. We need to be loud, because they're coming after our right to say things, and we're going to get into a little bit of that. Today, Peter's got something lined up for us where we don't know what's going to go on, but apparently he's going to be a little bit of a quiz master. Mark and I are going to answer some questions, and all of that with your questions, comments, and concerns. Hello to everybody. Tell us where you're coming from, and we'll get into it right after this.
Else is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking apps. No one cares if you only eat meat. Every single one of you have to identify by carnivore fucking Connie, carnivore Ken, whatever the fuck your name is, and you add carnivore to the end of it on your fucking bio is fucking weird. weird. You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion. A religion. A meat religion. Okay? Like, what in the absolute meat fuck is this shit? Your fucking forts with your eggs and your cheese and your fucking butter and your dates. Who cares? You can't shit. Your fiber intake is fucking zero, and you think you're just fucking trudging through life getting all healthy. Get the fuck out of here. No one cares. Your meat fucking ass, your meat farts, your meat sweats. No one wants to fucking hear about it.
Well, Bill Gates just apparently doesn't believe climate change is an issue anymore, or an existential threat. Anyway, we're going to get into that today. Our favorite topic. I'm not even allowed to say his name in the morning. I've already broken a cardinal sin in my house, but we're going to get into it because it's kind of funny how all this stuff happens. And, being from this space, understanding the holistic nutrition world, farming practices, seeing right through this bullshit. And you'll be surprised to know what Bill Gates, well, maybe not, be surprised to know what he's planning on for our beef, which is interesting. Yeah. All right. I believe that vegan truth now. You can take that. And I would strongly disagree to that. And also today, guys, Peter's got a quiz. Peter's got something lined up. He's got his suit and tie. Well, not his tie, but he's got his jacket on. He's ready to lay down some questions. So we'd like you to join in. Everybody, good morning. Byron, good morning, Rick. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being here. We're here every Sunday, and we love this time to talk about all things in the meat spheres, the meat spectrum, the carnivore space, which is kind of getting really, really muddy right now, which we may get into that a little bit too. All right, so Peter, what are you boys? What's going on, Peter? What are you thinking? What are we doing?
I'm excited to start because we got a lot of viewers' questions.
Okay.
A lot about all these things that are happening now with carbs and practical questions,
okay,
all kinds of stuff. Let's head it.
Okay, so how is this going to work? You're just going to lay down these questions and what?
I think we're just going to answer questions.
Okay,
let's go.
And
let's go.
Well, there is a jury looking at our responses.
Okay.
There's a score system behind it. So
okay,
let's go. Let's get we're under pressure now, Tony.
Okay.
But here's the first viewer question. That's so we have to add in carbs. So what's the best way to proceed?
Wow.
Okay.
Mark,
I'll go first. So first of all, I want to make it clear you don't need any carbohydrates in your diet whatsoever. But if you are going to add them in, then for me personally, you should have them in pretty much around the workout. That's the only time I would have them in. The reason why I have them in before the workout is you're going to burn off all that glycogen during your workouts, and then after that, then you can just get back to your keto lifestyle or your carnivore lifestyle. I firmly believe that carbohydrates can benefit around the workout, but only from a body composition way, not from a healthy way. So if you want to improve your body, the way you look, of course you can. I've seen it with many females. They look a little bit better when you add a little bit of carbohydrate in before the workouts. They blow up a little bit more. It's great for the glutes. It's great for building them up a little bit. So I have seen improvements in body composition, but when it comes to your health, no, I'm sorry, I'll never get in that wagon ever.
Yeah.
What about you, Tony?
Well, I think this is where we have to be very careful on who we're talking to about carbs. And I agree with you, Mark. Like carbohydrates, if you think, for one, we have to all agree they are not essential. They are not required for life. They are not required for our bodies to function. Now, optimal and tolerable and using them as a leverage or a tool, those are three different things. So where people are at in their affordability of their diet, what they're doing as far as sedentary life, as far as activity, I agree with you, Mark. If you're using carbohydrates as a tool, it's energy. So you better be using and expending your energy in a proper way, which can get really, really complicated because we're not Olympic athletes. Most of us are fairly, just normal people, 9 to 5, doing their things. If you're in an office job, sitting down on your ass all day, thinking carbohydrates are good, you just got, I like to take it like protein and energy. Yeah, carbohydrates bring energy to the table. But when you're trying to tap into potential energy, what's the best way? I don't believe it's adding carbs. Now, if you were going to add carbs, I agree with you, Mark. Like if you're working out and you wanted to try it, but this is where I don't understand a lot of these influencers that are saying now they're necessary when they weren't for 7 years, when they weren't for 9 years.
Yeah. And I want to make that point as well, because you made a very, very good point, Tony, that this depends on the person. So if you're coming from an active job, let's say you're working on a building site and you're on your feet all day, then maybe you can have a little bit of carbohydrate. Now what are we talking about here? Yeah. Again, it depends on the person. Now, here's the problem. People don't understand when I say a little bit, I'm talking about probably around 30 or 50 grams of carbohydrates. That's it. That's the most I would have somebody on pretty much if they're going training. It's just a little bit. It's just to get them that little kick. You know what I mean? That extra pump in the gym, because that's all they're getting. They're getting an extra pump in the gym. That's the only benefit you're going to see. You are going to also see a benefit from how you look. Yeah. So for me, for example, if I had carbohydrates for the next 6 weeks around the workout, I would be a lot bigger than what I am right now.
Yeah.
Now, is that muscle? No. I'm actually just going to blow up a little bit more. I'm gonna look a lot bigger. But we need to remember, okay, that's just an illusion. That's not, you're not building muscle. Now, if you look at someone who has a really, really, really sedentary lifestyle where they're sitting down pretty much all day, I would strongly advise these people to keep carbohydrates out of diet for a few reasons. They're not going to make you feel good because you're sitting around. Your body's stiff when you're sitting around. So if you're not getting any movement in, you're not going to feel good. So in order for you to feel good while you're sitting down, what's the best way to do that? In my opinion, remove the carbohydrates.
Yeah, you mentioned 30 grams. That's interesting as well. So that's a nice limit, I'd say. And there's a type 1 diabetic. Personally, I think that once I eat more than, say, about 20, or maybe 30 grams of carbohydrates per meal, I really struggle with consistently keeping my blood glucose in range. So you can keep it in range most of the times, but not always. So you always make errors. But most of all, it will also tell you that in a real person, in a healthy person, the pancreas would be working a lot. Mm-hmm. So where I inject insulin and have less control, there's also the pancreas working a lot. And so 30 grams, that sounds reasonable. And as a daily total, definitely below 100. But I'd consider that 30 grams as a daily total in a normal situation.
And here's the thing what that I think a lot of people miss as well is where you're starting from and what are you trying to do. Now, we have been decades of unaware that using fat for energy was available to us as a natural way, ketosis being a natural mechanism. So that's been dormant. So somebody who's 60 years old trying to tap into body fat for energy, every time they're incorporating a little bit of carbohydrates, sets that mechanism potentially back. So it's very tricky when you're trying to train your body to use fat for energy, and you're basically blipping the system, you're glitching the system. So efficiency you can't blood test efficiency, and I think that's something that the longer you get fat adapted, I know from your guys' perspective as well, the longer you get fat adapted, arguably the more flexible you may be able to be, but that's something that's really, really kind of overlooked, I think.
100%. And I want to talk a little bit about just tying this into oxidative stress, because this is the key word we're hearing at the moment. Now, we need to think about this. What's our metabolic state? Is it in ketosis, or is it when we're is it when we're giving our body sugar? Now, for most people, for the majority of people, if you're in ketosis, you are going to feel incredible. Unless you actually do it, like the three of us are in ketosis at the moment, we're all fat adapted. We can all tell everybody watching that we feel absolutely amazing. Now, you say that to the average person now, if you ask them the question, like, how do you feel? I can guarantee it. Most of them will be saying, like, I'm unbelievably stressed. I'm knackered, I'm fatigued. I just don't feel good about myself. So what's the one thing in that situation that you can control? Out of all the external stuff that's probably going on in your life at the moment, lifestyle, family, the one thing you can control is what you put into your body. That's the one thing you will always have control of. So you need to be asking yourself, okay, what's going to make me feel really, really good? If I'm eating carbohydrates and I'm like, this is not making me feel good, by lunchtime, I feel like I need to have a nap. I'm getting stressed regularly. I'm getting anxious on a regular basis. Well, then you need to have a serious question with yourself and say, well, maybe it's time I need to eliminate the carbohydrates.
Yeah. And you just mentioned a good thing there too, Mark, is nervous system. So when you're in that fight or flight mode, we don't think of the nervous system along with your diet, but those excitability factors, which is high sugar, can cause a whole bunch of cascading problems with other things. And when you're trying to get back to a 0 point, to a baseline, what's causing what's doing what, you have to rely on what's essential for the body. You have to fix that first. So adding in a whole bunch of stuff, and it's almost like supplements. People that are going to supplements first, and the vegans can argue it's better. I would disagree strongly. We would get it from food first, and if there's any holes, we would plug it with supplements. Well, it's the same thing. If your brain's not working properly, giving your brain the things that causes that sort of disconnect or not efficiency will hold you up. And I mean, people argue with cortisol. They argue with, different things about sugar. And it's like, well, we got to look at what does what and in the whole picture. And I think that's why, if you want to try something or bring in something to your diet to give it a shot, I'm all for it. Become your N of one. But when people they start going like these words, you need to, that's where we have to be careful.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't need carbohydrates to go do a workout. I don't need carbohydrates on my daily routine. I'm flexible enough because I was at a wedding and I did have some carbohydrates, but I go into observation mode. I go, okay, I'm going to enjoy this, but I'm going to see how my body is. And I'll tell you, the next day I was hungry in the morning, which is weird. Doesn't happen ever. The next day I had a little bit of different sort of things popping up in my body because I know what it was, and it was
on the skin. You mean, or
a little bit of and it was so subtle that if you were just not aware of the stuff, you would just think that's normal, and that's not normal because they don't do them every day.
And when you mentioned about the vegans and with the supplements, I mean, what's the one thing they're deficient in? B12.
B12.
And then when we look at brain function, we know B12 is absolutely essential for brain function, and they're limited in this. Yeah. Limited, so they have to rely on this supplement.
Yeah. And
on this skin issue, that they are tiny marks and that they can seem normal. Let me just show you here. Here I've been shaving, so this is this is just shaving. But here I have a small dot. It's almost disappeared.
Hey, look, it's an oxalate.
My face is clean nowadays. But 3 years ago, I would always have at least 5 or 10 things on my face. So either a skin rash or also things that become wounds and even with blood. Yeah. But this thing here is because I made a video where I had wanted to put my hair in a certain way, and I could only use, let's say regular hair gel for that. And that causes this type of stuff. So nowadays I'm very careful. I try to not use it anyway. So normally I just put some fat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's those things you don't notice it if your body is full with all kinds of other stuffs and oxalates and lectins and
Peter, you saying that too is like, I mean, I've noticed, and these were some of the carnivore side effects that I realized that was a different thing. It didn't happen when I was just keto. Skin tags went away.
Yeah.
Skin cleared up. Toenail fungus, dandruff, itchy, dry skin. Never now. Those are stuff that we just, how many people in this world are just putting up with this stuff because they think it's normal, and it's not.
And the amount of money they're spending on to fix it. That's the real issue. It's like it's costing people a fortune as they get older. They're looking for ways to improve their skin and keep the gray hair out of their head. It's like
if you look at Philip, for instance, friend of the show, Philip, he's been on. You can check out his interview with severe psoriasis. That's an extreme case. But most people have psoriasis or eczema. They don't even realize that they have it. It's it's just not presenting them. And that could be, of course, to gut stability, which I think that's the other thing with supplements and B12. B12 gets synthesized or in your small intestine. If your gut's messed up and broken, that could be a problem. Even supplementing might not be working well because your jejunum's all blasted. So
I've even heard of, well, not necessarily carnivores, but people that do eat meat that can still be deficient in B vitamins and probably also B12.
That's a sign of gut stability, right? Like your gut might be broken, and you know, it's just your body's on hyperactive overtime, molecular mimicry, all that good stuff. That's an autoimmune thing that may not be symptomatic as far as a diagnosis, but it's happening. And that's
to finish off this question, I'm not sure if we fully answered it yet. So if you were to do this, what food would you take? So let's just mention one food that we would use.
Well, if you were to ask me, if you are going to add in the carbohydrates, I would add in rice.
Yeah, I would do steamed, pressure cooked white rice if I was using it as a specific tool. That would probably be the.
That'd be my choice. My favorite.
Well, I think
choice.
my choice would be very close to that. So either rice or very simple sugars, actually. So that's a bit strange, right? That we advocate simple sugars, but in small quantities. I think that's the best.
Because you don't want anything too heavy on your stomach before you go training. So that's why I'm not a big fan. I've never been a big fan of brown rice because of all this fiber.
Oh, there's arsenic in the hut.
That's literally going to destroy you. It's going to ruin your gut. So if you are going to have carbohydrates, for me, this is only in my opinion, you're better off going with simple carbohydrates. Get them into the bloodstream as quick as possible.
The least amount of
clean insulin response also.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. All right, Peter. Good one.
Next question. Well, this was about carbohydrates. I think that we sort of answered this maybe, but maybe not. Does a carnivore diet have to be zero carb?
Well, I think
we have zero carb. Dave Mack, he calls himself zero carb, I think. But
I think that's kind of a nuanced tag, right? Like zero carb. You're not going out of your way to eat any exogenous carbohydrates, but there is carbohydrates in organ meats. There's carbohydrates in shellfish. There's carbohydrates, obviously, in dairy.
There's carbohydrates in eggs also.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of one of those things that can be taken way out of context if you want. And I mean, you know, that's also, we could argue what a carnivore diet is.
I think the most important thing is the good thing about the carnivore diet is it's your choice. It's your choice whether you want to add. I mean, Sean Baker talks about this all the time. If it's his son's birthday, he'll have a little bit of cake, but he'll be back on it the next day. So it's like, okay, it's a choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you have a special day coming up, whether it's a christening, a Christmas, whatever, if you want to have a little bit of carbohydrate, I don't see any issues with that, and I'm not going to come down on you. Like, I'm not going to come down on you.
It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you are getting to a point where you can enjoy your life, that's the whole reason why we're doing this, is to enjoy your life. But if you're dealing with some serious stuff, or you're trying to accomplish a goal, those things, I think we really, really underestimate the cheats. Like if you're trying to get fat adapted, if you're trying to resolve an autoimmune condition, if you're trying to fix your gut, those cheats can set you back a lot further than we actually think they do.
Do you think that maybe even liver in such circumstances might be a step too far? Or certainly dairy, of course, but maybe even liver, if you would, you shouldn't eat a lot anyway. But
well, I mean, I think that's the other thing too. I mean, I'm positive that there's people where you're at where your body's at really will dictate on how well you do with certain things. And like, it's like people that can't eat seafood. It's not that they're allergic. That just makes them feel like garbage. I can say until the cows come home, I eat salmon sashimi because it's healthy and it's good for me. But if you do, and you don't feel good, there's these things that we kind of just, everybody gets put into the same boxes. And I don't believe that at all. Like, I mean, I think some people do really well with organs, others don't, and that could be where they're living, what the pollution factor, if they need nutrients that are there. It's so gray. And I mean, I eat liver once in a while when I sort of get a calling to it. It sort of calls me. Same thing with seafood. Like I don't enjoy fish, but every once in a while I get this, something tells me to just, you want it. And I think
and I think that's the most important thing. The message is that we all advocate a low carbohydrate diet. We all advocate the carnivore diet, but you've got to find out what works best for you.
Yeah.
And,
You know,
and
I mean, that's
think
what it comes down to.
getting this segue. Sorry guys, I gotta do cheap. I gotta do a cheap plug here. Cheap plug. If anybody wants to join me for a 21-day beef, butter, bacon, and eggs reset, look at this. We're upgrading here at Meat of the Matter. It's QR code to my website. Just go to TonyStewartCoaching.com challenge. I'm gonna be taking some friends, family, and clients on a 21-day reset just to get back to basics because of that reason alone. What we just talked about. Let's get we broaden we narrow everything down to what your body needs and what you're trying to resolve, what you're trying to accomplish, and then you try to expand it out. And some people that's not a good idea. Other people are a little bit more forgiving. So this 21 days is a chance to reset everything. I do it once or twice a year, and I learn something every time I do it. So check it out, everybody who wants to join us. 21-day beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I'll probably do it for 30. And yes, Peter, no coffee.
Yeah, good. That's the reason why I won't participate right now, at least. But another question popped up. It almost seems as if the viewers have been discussing among each other. But this seems fitting question, right? How strict do you need to be to call yourself carnivore? Maybe we should give numbers, actually. Or not. But.
Okay. Mark, you want to go?
Well, it depends on what you call strict. I mean, every time you talk to a carnivore, they'll say it to you like you need to cut out coffee, you need to cut out dairy, you need to cut out this, you need to cut out this, you need to cut out this. So it just depends on what you want to do or how you class. To me, all you need to do pretty much is go on a low carbohydrate diet. That's pretty much it. Start from there, cut out all the plant toxins, and just start from there. And then let's see how your body evolves. Let's see how your body reacts. Now, if you're still not getting results, then there might be. Let's say you have, like, the biggest one is autoimmune. Autoimmune for me, when I work with someone who has an autoimmune issue, it's always they have to go strict line based. Pretty much, they're only eating meat. They can't have eggs. They can't have dairy. They can't have any bacon. So they have to go strict. So it just depends on the person.
Yeah.
But but what I'm saying is this: you need to find your way. You don't need to go by what people tell you. Oh, if you're having coffee on carnivore, you're not a carnivore. That's bullshit. You need to find out what makes you happy. Yeah. I mean, you guys drink coffee. I have no problems with that. I don't drink it because I gave it up 2 years ago because it doesn't agree with me. I'm not going to turn around and say to you guys, okay, you're doing carnivore wrong.
Yeah.
You have to find out what works for your body and stick with it. That's it.
Yeah. See, I like to think of it as this way. And I mean, everybody gets dogmatic. Everybody gets I don't know if it's a natural human instinct or something, but the carnivore diet was coined by Sean Baker. What is that? That is eating meat and fat. That's what the carnivore diet is. But we, being human beings, I believe, in my opinion, I like the term obligate hypercarnivores, where that separates, you are getting 70% of your essential nutrition and energy from animal foods. 70%. 30% can be seasonal, could be hunter-gathery, could be there's that 30% would have been those times of food scarcity where the hunt didn't succeed. We would have had to fall back to something. So that also is nuanced, because if you are dealing with modern life issues like metabolic dysfunction, metabolic syndrome, or diabetes or something, that 30% becomes very, 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 very important. And that's the sliding knob. But when you're getting your essential nutrients from animal food, from meat and fat, all your vitamins, minerals, protein, and energy requirements, that would be, to me, a carnivore. To call yourself a carnivore, but we are carnivores.
So that would include animal-based diet, basically, right? I mean, I'm not saying that you need to, that you should eat a lot of fruit, of course, but 30% fruit. I mean, you're still sort of carnivore in a way. It's not health optimal, but
you made a good point, Peter, because people just throw around the term plant-based. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Plant-based. Okay, you base what on plants? Your essential nutrients that you can't get. Like all your fat soluble vitamins that you cannot get, You know, your
Like,
omega-3 fatty acids
like
that
what?
you cannot get.
Like what about you guys? Let me ask you the question. Do you consider yourself strict carnivore?
As far as the coinage of the carnivore diet, no. I would consider myself hyper carnivore as far as technically, but loosely I would be animal based pushing to carnivore. You know, I would say I'm 95%, 95 to 98%. Coffee being that you know, how much coffee, where would that fall into the percentage category? But I mean, for the most part, I eat steak and eggs. Well, just for instance, a day I'll eat my meal that is a carnivore meal. Sometimes I'll gravitate towards pasture raised pork. Sometimes I'll gravitate towards really properly, ethically, no bullshit chicken, not the supermarket shit. But it's usually just meat and eggs, butter. That's usually my thing. So, I mean, that's what but I would not, I don't have to say, if God forbid, if I have blueberries and yogurt one day, I'm not throwing my carnivore card. I don't agree with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then when was that? 2 weeks ago or so, I ate beef liver with a small orange. It's really delicious. I mean, liver is already sweet with this orange. I put it in the frying pan, but that's another detail. But,
is that your Dutch pride? That's your Dutch pride. You gotta throw in the Dutch colors there a little bit, or what?
Yeah. I'm thinking about the blue part. That's difficult. But I call myself carnivore. But the issue is that I use the word carnivore as a hyper carnivore way. It's like the word diet as well. It's really confusing because I use it in the Greek way, basically. I always did. I never considered the word diet to be something like a weight loss diet or something, a temporary thing. Diet is just what you are eating. And so I call myself a carnivore, but maybe it would be smarter to call myself hyper carnivore and not mention anything like carnivore diet as well.
Right. And that's a good point, because when I'm working with people and I'm helping people figure themselves out, I don't use these terms. I don't you're going carnivore. You're this. I try not to tell them about the keto side, because it confuses people. People hear about that 5% carb allowance, and that just it can cause a little bit of like, what the hell diet? I want people to be on their diet. Like whatever diet works for you.
Yeah, what works for you.
You're empowered to choose what works for you. I think that's the best.
This as well. It's indeed it's a noun and not something that you do.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. All right, Peter.
Next. I'm forgetting the questions. Well, we talked a little bit about this. So should we eat eggs even? But mostly dairy, I guess. That's the question.
Want me to go? I'll go first.
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
That is nuanced and potential to somebody. Now you got to deal with your gut situation. You have to deal with your digestion situation, your metabolic situation. This is a very big, what are you trying to accomplish? How are you feeling? The gateway drug to carbs, I mean, I would say cheese is addictive on its own, and it can be very, very problematic for somebody who's binging on cheese. I tend to tell people not to focus on cheese. If you're using it as a condiment or heightening a meal or an omelet, sure, but be very careful, because it can swing you to eating a cheese meal, which, there can be a whole mess of problems. Now, how severe are you carb addicted would be how much carbs in your dairy. If you're drinking cream or whipping cream compared to milk, there's a lot of different nuances. Some yogurts have a lot of carbs, and if that's signaling an addictive mechanism or a binge and it's uncontrollable, well, that's what you have to take into context. So I think it's very nuanced, and there's good things in dairy. I'm all for it. If I could get raw dairy, I would probably include it a lot more in my diet. But I do believe, especially, and I know Mark will probably agree with this, the people that are on plateaus, the first thing they have to look at is their dairy. And it can get out of control fast. So that's mine.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like that's the one thing that has to go when, let's say, you're 4 months into a carnivore and things are not moving anymore. 100% the dairy's gone straight away, because they're even though it's a good fat, it's still very, very addictive.
Yeah.
Like you ask any carnivore, they'll tell you that I can eat a block of butter, no problem. But if you say to them, okay, can you eat a block of beef tallow?
Butter is already better, right? I mean, if you eat it, not so much happens actually.
No.
Well, I mean, butter's that gray area, right? Where it's, if you, and that's like with cream too, like heavy cream. If you're as much fat in the cream as possible, if you're just having that half and half cream, or I don't know what they call it, coffee cream or whatever.
Yeah.
That's gonna well, Peter would know this. That would probably spike your blood glucose a lot faster than something with full fat.
Definitely.
Right?
And another thing, what happens, I was in a discussion on my other channel, Low Carb Perspective, where I talked with diabetics, and they are used to just carb counting. Yeah. And I tell them that if I eat a block of cheese, let's say I eat half a pound of cheese, my blood sugar will spike in the night. That's one thing. But it will also significantly reduce my insulin sensitivity. So actually a few days ago, I did it, and it can be really frustrating. So I almost threw my blood glucometer against the wall. But I had to inject like 3 or 4 units of insulin just to cover that cheese, and then across a long time period. And just for comparison, that is about the same as you inject for a carnivore meal. So that's quite a lot.
Because I hear this all the time from clients when they're eating a high fat diet, and the majority of it is dairy. They always get back to me and saying, why am I having these regular cravings? Why am I having these regular hunger signals? Yeah. And I know exactly what the problem is straight away. I'm like, okay, well, it's the dairy. The dairy's having the impact here. Your blood sugars are been slightly elevated here. In order for you to keep your insulin very, very low, we need to eliminate this problem full stop.
And for a lot of the people in the chats will know this. Like, this stuff is pretty common knowledge for us. But for the people that don't know this, that's the stigma that we have to get away from, in my opinion, in the whole health and nutrition space. This is healthy. This is not healthy. This is good for you. This is not good for you. That doesn't exist when you're dealing it from a biological metabolic factor. There's so many different factors to food and what we call food or not food that, dairy's one of those very specific. And I mean, you can go back into people being lactose intolerant. They've bioengineered. I don't care whoever says they have, the Holstein cow in North America were engineered to produce more milk, which made them more addicted. And we can go, like, I'll put my tinfoil hat on, and we can go in the weeds on why, but this is a fact. So it's not the same as it was. Raw dairy is not the same as you know what I mean? It can get really, really crazy. So buyer beware.
Yeah, 100%. Next, Peter.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, the poop question, of course.
Right, Peter, you can answer this for us. Go ahead.
Well, for me, it's really erratic. That's good, right? Or it isn't maybe, but yeah. Sometimes I go 3 times a day, and sometimes I go once in 2 or 3 days. Especially if I eat cooked meat, things like hamburgers, they tend to add more bulk. But if I eat raw meat, that's more compact. Somehow, yeah, I don't know why that is. But just imagine if you eat, if you do a butter fast, for example, just to give an extreme example. I mean, your body absorbs it all, right? What's left? I mean, just the mucus in your bowels that is being still excreted, but the rest is nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I think about this right now, but did you ever see this Italian woman on Instagram? She talks about the fact that she doesn't even go for like 2 weeks or so.
Well,
yeah. Well, I don't know what's true about it, but
Mark?
Yeah, apparently it can take a while.
Really?
as good as you can absorb, right? Slower time, more absorption. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
What do you think, Mark?
For me, it depends on the person. It really does. I mean, it like for me, I go to the toilet. I go probably every 2 days. Now, if I increase my fats like really, really high, and I go over my threshold, then I'll probably go every day. Or like yourself here, I'll probably go twice a day. So it just depends on the person. But for me, I have no problems going every 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm not panicking. I'm not worried about it. I'm not like, oh my God, 24 hours later I haven't went to the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that because I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel absolutely great.
You just hit the nail on the head for me, Mark. Like right there is people they hear these dogmas. They hear these, oh, you should be doing this. You should be this way. Where are you starting from? Where are you coming from? Who are you compared to? Because in my opinion, as long as it's not painful, it's not struggle, and you're not in any kind of symptomatic things are happening. Even diarrhea once in a while, as long as it's once or twice, who cares? Your microbiome shifting, I don't think that's a problem. It's a problem when it becomes chronic.
Absolutely.
And it's like if you're discolored, I love talking shit. If it's discolored and it's like abnormally weird, then just keep track of it and see how it's going. But you can't, transit time, motility, gut stability all come into play. And I think, when you're absorbing all the nutrients you're putting in your body knows what to do. And I think, provided you're hydrated, the constipation factor, if you're constipated, there's a reason. It's not because of your diet. It's because of what you've eaten in that, there's a lot of factors. And I think that's it. It's symptomatic as long as there's no pain and as long as there's no, because like they call it like irregular movements. Well, shit, you're not eating the same thing. You're not eating the same time. It wouldn't be regular, would it? Like I eat once a day. Sometimes I eat 3 times a day. Of course it's going to be different, right? So I think that's the most important thing. A lot of people tell me, they're like, I had diarrhea. And it's like, okay. Did it hurt? No. Did you have to run to the toilet? No. So it was when you thought you had to go and it was a little messy.
But I think it's important to people to understand that if you're starting carnivore, like at the very
it's gonna get wild.
Oh my God!
And it doesn't have to, but it can.
Yeah,
you're gonna be going to the toilet probably for a week every day.
Oh man, that's how I feel sometimes when I make meat stock or bone broth, and I'm a little too overzealous, and I drink the liquid fat on the top, but I've underestimated how much is there. It's like 20 minutes, man. It's going.
I'll give you a story. She won't be listening to this because this was ages ago. This was about 5 years ago. But I worked with this woman, and she was severely overweight, and she was around 5 days into the carnivore diet, and she went strict. And this is no word of a lie. Hand on my heart, this is no word of a lie. I got a phone call. I think it was on a Sunday, and she was like, "Mark, I'm in the park and I'm walking around and I have to go to the toilet. I literally have to go to the toilet." And I was like, can you get home? She's like, no, it's around 20 minutes away. And she's like, Mark, I really have to go to the toilet. And she was like, what do I do? And I said, you just have to pull down your pants and just go to the toilet. And she did. She went over to the trees and went to the toilet.
Just let it out. Victoria, I will get a hold of you, and I'd love to have you on board because you'd be great inspiration to some of the people that are joining us, so that would be cool. We'll talk about it. And Mark, it's your birthday, I guess.
Very soon.
We'll have to have some carnivore cake.
When is that? Let's see.
26th.
26th. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not too long to go now.
I forgot in the U.S. you guys have the American Thanksgiving. Canadian Thanksgiving's over with, so I thought that's why we did it on November 15th to December, whatever it is, 7th or something. It's kind of a blast before Christmas.
When do your class go back? Is it in 2 weeks?
No, we just went back now today.
Oh, you went back now? Okay.
I thought I was gearing up to be an hour early or an hour later, but I was like, oh, okay. I guess in the spring it's longer. That time remember when it was when I was like, this is weird, but yeah, I guess it's just 1 week apart for the fall. So,
but this birthday is on Monday, it seems, right? If I count correctly. But let's make a cake. Each one of us and eat it on Sunday. Carnivore cake, of course.
Sounds good.
All right.
And this question, you had to go back to the question, but it brings up another question, actually. I saw a video from Dr. Itz a few days ago, and he was talking about Bella, the steak and butter girl, and also about the fact that she doesn't go so much for number 2. Mm-hmm. And he talked about this idea that, toxins remain in your bowel and so on. And I haven't looked into that so much myself. I believe it's nonsense, but Any ideas on that?
Well, Dr. Sarah Mayhill, she says this: a carnivore gut is a sterile gut for what that for what it's worth. And when you're talking about small intestinal, SIBO and all that bacteria stuff, we have no idea. Like everybody talks like Dr. Ids is saying, well, I don't know if that's good. Yeah, because you don't know. You got taught.
He's never tried it. He's never tried it. Exactly.
What the hell, all you can resort to is a textbook and a theory. Then, how do you know that? So
yeah.
Taking
and I would all look at the animal world again. So that brings up another question, by the way. But if you look at dogs, dogs, they apparently can eat meat, and they no doubt have a healthy gut microbiome. Yeah. But if you look at our pet dogs, at least, they go for number 2. Like, I don't know, I don't have a dog, but 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, each time that you bring him out, he goes for number 2, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's much more than we carnivores do, but yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, it's just, it's clear. I mean, and here's something that most people won't like. Animals don't need toilet paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know all the I want to see in the comments all the carnivores there.
And isn't it
immaculate poops with no to wipe, and it's like, hey, all right, it's beautiful.
And isn't it amazing when you go to the zoo, you see all these signs, and it says, "Don't feed the animals."
Yeah.
Do you ever see that? Don't feed the animals. We will feed them what they're meant to be fed. You don't feed them at all. Why do you think people do that?
Yeah, well, to talk with the veterinarian or the people working for, feeding the cows and that sort of things, or biologists, they are the most sensible people mostly. And I see it in my family as well. If I talk with biologists or instead of the doctors, it's a totally different story.
Yeah. 100%. And just a shout out to Mark and Victoria, and Lisa now is part of this, the Prairie Carnivore. I think she's watching on Instagram. Love you, Lisa. I'm okay, by the way. I was talking to Lisa and I tripped and fell through a window. It was pretty funny. Not really, but it was like just ridiculousness. But Dr. Myhill is scheduled on Carnivore Evolutions on November 10th of November, so that will be really good. She's incredible. So check it out on Carnivore Evolutions coming up. That'll be awesome. Peter.
Yeah. Too many questions to talk about, and Tony, I think you probably want to. You have something to say about this vegan guy that mentioned Bill Gates, but let's go for a question quickly.
Okay.
We're talking about food anyway and what to eat, so I think this is interesting as well. Can you overeat on protein?
Can you eat too much protein? Mark, you want to go, or you want me to start?
Well, this myth about too much protein is going to damage your kidneys is complete rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I can tell you right now. The reason why I know this is because I'm eating a lot of protein at the moment. A lot of protein. And it has no effect on me whatsoever. Now, again, I'm going to keep repeating this question. It just depends on the person. This is what it comes down to. You have to start from where you are at the moment. So wherever you are at the moment, this is where let's say you're 160 pounds. You need to start from your own threshold. So if your average protein intake is say 160, then you need to start from there. You don't go by what I'm doing or what Tony's doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You need to find out what works for you.
Yeah.
And then you find out what you're trying to achieve. Yeah. If you're trying to build muscle and you're lean, then you can probably get away with eating a little bit more protein in the diet. But it just depends on the person.
Yeah.
You don't go by what anybody else is doing. You have to find your own threshold when it comes to your macros. And I think that's very, very important.
Yeah, I think I would agree. And I think there's certain hints in the nutrition and health space that we know we need essential amino acids. We know there's rate limiting, which means you must have certain ones. And we know if you don't have enough of another one, the lock can't work. So the protein. So under eating protein, not good. Overeating protein, good luck. Try it. I'll tell you what. We have a natural mechanism that's a shutoff. And I use this as an example with beer and Coke and all these soft drinks and shit, energy drinks. You can drink them till pun intended, the cows come home. Try drinking 5 liters of water. Your body will say, nope, no more. And I think that natural mechanism is controlled with protein. Your body, if you understand this, I mean, I think this, you got to build up to this, but it also gets leveraged by your fat with your satiety signals. So
exactly, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Your protein requirement is yours. Nobody knows. I mean, I agree with you, Mark. 1 gram per pound of complete protein is a good way to is a good start. But if you ask anybody, everybody's got their own theories about it.
And you can also be above a little bit, I think, and that's no problem. And it seems that I anticipated your answer a little bit, Tony, but I was typing in ChatGPT also, how much meat do I have to eat to reach, for example, I think 3 grams per kilogram of body weight. So to reach the 1.5 grams per pound, let's say. Yeah. And I would have to eat, let's say, 5 pounds? No, 3 pounds of meat. 3 to 4 pounds of meat.
But put it this way, Peter. Let's say for the next 5 years, you stepped away from cycling and you just focused on building muscle for the next 5 years. Your protein intake in 5 years' time is going to be a lot higher than what it is right now.
Yeah,
higher.
A lot higher, because your body requires that protein to build the muscle mass.
This is where you get into specifics, right? Like, for sure. And Philip I'm going to put this up, Peter. So I'm going to steal your thunder for a second.
Yeah, sure.
Do you guys count macros? And this comes down to that. I personally, unless I'm trying to do something, I eat now with intuition. Now, I've been doing this for 5 years, almost 5 years. There's a big difference between somebody just starting out and me. But do I count macros? The only thing I would count would be I would ballpark my fat intake according to what I'd be doing. My protein really stays the same. Now, I used to work when I was in school. I would work I worked as a mover with my friend's moving company full time school. My meals I would eat once a day because I could, but it was just convenient for me. But when I stopped the moving physical job and I went to the office job, I was a laser acupuncturist for a while, and now I'm kind of doing my coaching thing, and I'm a lot more less active, you could say. My meals my amounts hasn't really changed. Mostly it's the fat. I gravitate towards more fat when I need more energy. That's kind of the difference. My protein, my amount, I don't have to count them. But I mean, I might do this actually. I might go, for the next few months, go to the gym and start trying to put on muscle and kind of have that glory. That would change. I would start to track. That's
I'm big on reverse dieting. That's what I do with my clients. Now, I've been doing this now for the last 5 years. Now, the reason why I track is because I want to see what I can get away with. I want to see how much food I can actually eat. Now, I don't do this on a week-to-week basis. I do this probably once every 4 months. Yeah. That's when I increase my food. So what I'm saying is this: at the moment, I don't track anything because I'm kind of eyeballing the stuff at the moment. But when I get stronger in the gym and I'm putting on more muscle, I am going to add more food in. Now, I'm not just going to guess how much food I'm adding into the diet. I'm going to look, okay, what am I currently doing at the moment? So if I'm guessing at the moment, I'm just having a guess. I'm probably on around 280 protein at the moment, and I'm probably on around 400 grams of fat a day on average. Yeah. Now, and say in 2 months' time, I'm not going to add in too much. I'm probably going to add in an extra 20 grams of fat and probably an extra 10 grams of protein. And let's see if that improves my body. If that improves my body, I'm going to play with that for about three or 4 months until I start getting better. I start getting stronger. And then when my body hits a plateau and I'm not able to lift the weight anymore, I'm going to push the food back up again. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting better over time.
Yeah. You're better at being yourself, right?
Yes. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and I think that's key. I think that's key because a lot of people, when they diet, they go down to their ideal weight and they have no idea where to go from there. Yeah. They have to do the reverse diet because that way you can get away with eating more food. Yeah.
You have to get over that under eating factor. That's huge.
Exactly.
It's way worse to under eat. Now, guys, I want to put up this comment by Victoria because I want to touch on this. I'm a big fan of Gabrielle Lyon and Donald Lehman. in my opinion, is probably one of the most important people as far as protein knowledge. He studies it, and his idea, and not only that survival 90 grams of protein, there's two things that I want to touch on there. He also says that in order for muscle protein synthesis to even begin, which is holding your muscle, not even just building your muscle, just holding your muscle, you need 2.5 grams of leucine, which is only available with 30 grams of complete protein in your first meal when you eat it. Now, when he says 90 grams survival, there's also something called a rate-limiting amino acid, which means the least amount required of the smallest amino acid to do the thing that the protein is supposed to be done. So that's something that is very tricky when my mother, for instance, is 100 pounds soaking wet. That 90 grams of protein becomes vital. Now, if she's eating broccoli and cauliflower and salads and she's not eating her protein requirement, what do you think happens? That's frailty. That's sarcopenia. That's how important this is. The older you get, I believe, the more important this becomes.
Absolutely, 100%.
So somebody who's resilient and young, and their bodies are gonna be borrowing and begging and doing things and surviving. But when you get past a certain point, and the older you get, in my opinion, this becomes vitally important.
And can I just add as well, because we're always going on about macronutrients. I don't care what anybody else says. The most important macronutrient that you can put in your body, in my opinion, is protein. It's not fat and it's not carbohydrate. It's protein. Protein is the most important macro that you need to first prioritize.
Yeah. And here's the beautiful thing about carnivores, guys. Like, if you're animal-based and meat-based and you're trying to hit a protein requirement, you don't have to think about shit. All that stuff becomes absolutely...
It's all done for you. Yeah.
And
it would be amazing to find carnivores that don't get enough, right? Even on high-fat carnivore. I mean,
And that's the thing. I mean, Ben Bickman said it best, and I preach this all the time with my clients and my people I'm helping. Prioritize protein, fill up and don't fear fat, control carbohydrates. That becomes that thing that we talked about at the beginning, but that could be zero carb, that could be moderate, it depends, but that's the three-way. I love that.
And let me just say that about the whole calorie counting thing and even protein counting and fat counting. I always look back at what I've been doing the previous weeks, basically, and I decide to eat a little bit less of cheese, for example, if I want to lose weight, or if and the protein basically gets managed by your gut feeling. Like if you exercise a lot, you'll feel that you need it.
Dave has.
I was gonna say that. Can we put up Dave's question?
Yeah, let's do that. So, Mark, you want to go?
So for me, Dave, I would. Yeah. I would. That's what I would do. I think you're going to heal a lot faster. I don't think you need any food in your body whatsoever. I think you're going to heal so much faster. Fasting. That'd be my personal opinion. What about you guys?
I would say be very careful about the trauma that was your body went through some trauma. It still needs nutrients, but I don't think either way trying to force it. If you're comfortable fasting and you're listen to your body, like the healing is going to be, there's a lot of stuff going on there. So you just don't want to further that fast into stress on your body, which nobody can really tell you how long to, but I agree with Mark. Absolutely. Fasting is.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you cut yourself, your body's going to heal naturally itself.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't need to feed it. You don't need to do anything. It just heals. The wound closes itself. Yeah. So
but we were talking about calories, proteins. So I mean, I don't really have a solid opinion about this, but I imagine that you could need some. That protein could benefit a little bit if you at least eat those.
I know Dave's diet. When he eats, he's going to eat properly, and then the fasting is going to be very, you just don't want to stress out your body any further. That's all. But I mean,
and I'd actually think that maybe even leading up to the surgery, you want to take it easy, and maybe even the day before do fasting or so.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what it is. Like a 24-hour fast, I think it would be very, very beneficial.
Putting your body in your body, it's that healing state that I mean, but then again, we can argue eating's a stress too. But it's just about your body having the stuff it needs when it wants to use it, and that's and then the healing regeneration thing. You know, even trying to stretch out a fast with some bone broth, or like even a couple just butter days or fat days that you do well on, that can give your body a little bit of a lift too. So
Yeah.
good luck with the surgery, by the way, Dave. We're with you.
Yeah, good.
We feel you.
Yeah, good luck with the surgery. 100%. We do one more.
Yeah, let's see.
I like this little
that's a big question about carnivore myths. That's now let's go for something easy.
There's a I wonder if we passed, Mark.
Yeah, what's your go-to emergency food when traveling?
Mark, you want me to go?
I think go ahead, Tony. I'll say it after you.
My emergency food when traveling is fasting, right? It's just when I'm in a pinch.
Believe it or not, I was going to say this. I was going to say the same thing. When I go on a flight, the last thing I'm thinking about is food.
Yeah, and
I'm good.
And if I was ever on like a situation where I have to be scrambling around, I mean, I'm all for just going to McDonald's and getting burger patties, the quarter pounder patties, not their normal shitty little hamburger patties, but the quarter pounder patties. From what I've gathered from a lot of different carnivores, there's no seed oils and they're pretty much pure beef. I'm not opposed to just eating 6 patties or 8 patties. That's kind of I would rather do that than go start looking at beef jerky in gas stations or petrol stations or, you know, little weird things. I just would stick to that. It's probably a better bad situation in my opinion, but I am fasting. That's my go-to.
I would make sure you're well fueled before you go. And then that's the thing. You're going to be fine. Well fueled. Like if you're going on an 8-10 hour flight, you can easily just fuel yourself. No problem. Easily.
Yeah.
That's if you're carnivore. If you're not carnivore and you're eating the standard shitty diet, you won't last.
Yeah.
You won't last.
So I think I agree with you guys. I mean, it's I do the same.
If somebody's not able to fast, if you're not able to go longer than 4 hours without a meal, then you better start fixing your metabolism, because that's something that I've noticed with people. It's wild when people see you and they go, how can you not eat breakfast? I'm like, how can you eat it? Like, it doesn't make sense.
And when you think about it, like Victoria makes a good point. Most people when they're on the flight, they're bored.
Yeah,
they're just looking for something to do. So that's why they're always coming up with coming down up and down the cabins with food, because they're bored. It's in your face. They're making you eat shit, like, basically. So you have to have the mindset just to ignore all that and just
here's some peanuts.
Phase out of it. Just phase out of it. Just watch a movie or something or go for sleep. That's it.
Well,
and it's horrible food, because in order to taste something on an airplane, they'll have to add a lot of flavoring to it.
Yeah,
of course.
And when you're in that situation, like you're stressed. It's making the situation even worse. So you're not going to feel good about yourself. And if you're on a 10-hour flight, if you're stressed, that's going to be a long flight for 10 hours. You know what I mean? So you want to be, for me, when you want to be on a flight where you're nice and relaxed. You're not constipated. You're not bloated. Your energy's not shit. You know what I mean? You want to just be nice and relaxed.
Yeah, when I think about it, it's, especially in the past, if I would eat on a plane, nothing is bad indeed if you get a little bit of stomach discomfort.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's great.
You try to not go to the toilet and so on.
Yeah. And you're trying to move around the chair like this and trying to fart when...
Yeah.
The seatbelt goes click, 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 click. Come on, man. What the hell? Yeah, no doubt. Not fun. I want to get to Billy G before we go, guys.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to get the people in the chats. They're like, this is pretty scary. So I'm going to do this. That's for you, Lisa. We're talking Billy G now.
Here we go.
Okay, I've got something to say. Like this news couple that I watch. I don't know if anybody's heard of Redacted, but I follow them because they're husband and wife. They used to be mainstream media. Now they're kind of independent. They talk about all things, kind of people waking up to the bullshit that's going on in the world. And Natalie Morris had this to say about this that I want to talk about because it's just insane. So we'll put them on. Give me 2 seconds just to change my screen here.
Well, Bill Gates wants to give cows vaccines to produce less methane, and he's framing this as his new moderate take on climate change. So remember when Bill Gates warned that climate change would be humanity's greatest threat, the hardest challenge we'll ever face as human beings, he said. Well, he doesn't believe that anymore, he says, after scaring the crap out of people and the media letting him do it unchecked. Now he's here to say this on his personal blog. This is the title. He calls it 3 Truths. The truths he's about to drop on us are things that serious climate researchers have been saying for years, and he has spent money to bury in the media. But okay, he's come around. It's not catastrophe anymore. You don't have to have climate anxiety. You'll see why he's doing this in a minute, but I'm going to spoil it for you. He wants to sell livestock vaccines and additives to their food in order to get you to eat meat again because he can make money off of it. Here's truth number 1. He says climate change is a serious problem, but will not be the end of civilization.
Okay. So, what is that all about? So now they're going to come at cows with another angle, right? That's in my opinion, that's what they're trying to do. It's obvious once you see this shit. It's this climate hoax bullshit that's, I'm not denying that the climate changes. I think it does, and I think the human beings probably do impact it. But is it an existential threat that we all must sacrifice and suffer our lives in the name of it? I don't believe that. And I don't believe we should be eating monocrop agriculture. I don't believe we should be eating lab meat or Beyond Meat. And now, isn't it funny how he's switching when his Beyond Burger's going bankrupt, now he's just going to find out more stuff to use with our cows and feed. And that scares the crap out of me, because if he's saying it now, he's probably already doing it. And that's my
100%. Yeah, it's definitely in the pipeline. That's what it is. That's just crazy. It's just I mean, it just bears thinking about if he gets his way. It's just, and the thing is, like, most of the people will just buy into this bullshit like they did during COVID. They're just going to jump on board with this, and they're going to be convinced that this is the way we should be going. It's absolutely scary. That's why we need to make sure that we just don't give up this fight, no matter what. I know they try to block us all when we come up with this on social media. They do whatever it takes to shut it down, but we need to just keep going. We need to keep going, because there's a lot of people relying on us.
And I know, Peter, you had a couple comments, which you've got a great take on it too. But I'll let you do that before we sort of wrap up. What do you think?
Yeah, no, well, I was a little bit surprised about his change of views on climate change, in the sense that he starts to finally realize, at least, that maybe we shouldn't have to do so much about it, because, well, in my opinion, climate change is a measurable thing, but it's mostly a question about, is it bad, and as humans and as a planet, are we going to destroy ourselves? Yeah, so I cannot find a better word right now, but so yeah, the distinction between, is the climate changing? That's one question. And there's the side question, of course, if humans are involved in it anyway. But the most important question is, should we do anything about it? And there I have strong opinions, and I think that Bill Gates at least somehow starts to realize a little bit that maybe it's not the best way to just pump a lot of money in going against climate change, because try to find indeed ways to feed the world, and I don't agree with the way that he does it. But it's a slight positive shift, but I mean,
see, that's where my tinfoil hat comes in and says, there's always a catch. These elites, these globalists, there's always a catch. If they're doing something, they've already planned for something to be happening. And with the amount of censorship that's going on in Canada, the possible, I don't even know if we'll be talking to you guys in January. They could take my internet away. With all that stuff going on, I find it very suspect that, that now, and look at this guy's not a doctor. He's not a scientist. He's not a lawyer. He's not a farmer, and he's definitely not a nutritionist. He's definitely, why are you an immunologist? Are you a no. but he's got
and he will have strong opinions, intentions, and plans, of course, because if you have such an amount of money, of course you're going to go after those ideas that you want to achieve. So we probably don't know 90% of what goes through his mind.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for everyone, because I know this strikes a nerve. It does in my household when we talk about this guy. It just really bothers me that he just openly says nonchalantly, like, "Oh yeah, but we're just going to vaccinate all the cows." And I mean, all we're doing in our carnivore, like, just get back to nature. That's all we're asking. Leave our food alone, And it's just they're going to find some way to make this even harder, because I mean, I believe this tinfoil hat.
He seems to be a big believer in things like vaccines and of course, maybe also because he was funding this whole malaria thing. But in my opinion, there are even better ways to improve the world instead of, for example, those malaria vaccinations. Because what are you doing? There are super poor countries over there, and the only thing that you're going to do is to liberate those people from the diseases. But on a global scale, you're just going to make those people survive those diseases, but they will be in a very bad situation over there. So there are other ways to improve this type of questions, and so it shows a little bit his way of thinking. And I think by saying, "Oh, let's just jab all the cows and solve this or this problem," it's also short-sighted. That's the thing.
It's just like, I'm with you guys. It's just this shit just makes me really, really angry. I mean, we're literally destroying a good thing here for what? And when you think about it, it's just pure fucking greed.
Well,
that's where it comes down to. It's like, just leave it alone. Why mess with it? What's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
What is the problem? Just leave it alone. If anything, guys, honestly, when it comes to our planet, we need to make sure that we're on top of this, because there's a lot of people that are going to be relying on us, and we're going up against a big player now. This guy has all the money in the world.
We should be very careful about that. And I'm sorry to bring this up today, guys, because I know, but it's something that we got to talk about, and we're going to be soon. We might not be allowed to talk about it. So excuse me. I think all of us in this space, in this community, need to get united. Excuse me, and get louder, because I don't think this stuff's going away. And whatever side of the fence you're on, whether it's greed, whether it's nefarious, sinister, evil, it's got to stop. And I think our food supply and our right to nourish ourselves is. I
mean, at the end of the day, if these people cared about you, honestly, you just need to look back what happened to a couple of years ago. Well, when we were all brainwashed, we were all under his control. Yeah. Every single, where did it get us?
Yeah,
it got people more sicker. What did he do? He kept us all indoors. Yeah. We were able to eat fast food. I mean, honestly, people need, Eddie says this all the time. We need to wake the fuck up. Honestly, it's in our faces. Yeah. We just need to do more research, honestly, because it's right before our very eyes. It's staring us in the face. We know why we're getting sick. Well, some of us know why we're getting sick, and we just need to keep on pushing that word out there.
Yeah, and I think that's a great place to end off on, guys. And because we're going to keep, as this progresses, we'll keep up with this, because I think this could be, like Byron said earlier, it could be a show on its own, could be an episode on its own, because this stuff is just maddening and it frustrates the shit out of me. And it's, there's so many branches and avenues that we can go down, but it's just like, stay away from our food, man. Like, this is ridiculous. But we're all I think this way of eating is under attack because it works, and it's because it's so damn healthy, they have to push back on it. So
exactly.
Speaking of which, great. I had a great time today, guys. Peter, that was amazing. Thank you very much. So saying that, we're getting our shit together, guys. We're going to have our interviews coming out fast and furious soon. I'm just working on a couple things to get our stuff in line. So all the people that did an interview that are sort of waiting in the pipes, as soon as I get everything together, we're going to be coming out fast and furious. We'll get back on track towards the new year, one interview and obviously the live show every week. But we're continuing this, and I mean, I'm hoping that I don't know what just happened there. Something just flashed on my thing. Anyway,
Tony, can you reverse your hat for one time? Because I was looking up his name, but I wanted to say that you looked a little bit like Chris McCaskill, like this.
Oh yeah, really? Plant? You want me to eat some plant
Yeah.
chocolates? You want to eat some plants? Yeah. I think Instagram just kicked us out, but that's probably too.
Can I just answer Carnivore Helix? Is that her name? If you want to send me an email at nsmark93@gmail.com, I'll organize an interview for you.
Yeah, come on, let's talk about it. I love it, and that makes that leads us to the end of this week. We want to thank everybody for joining us. We're here live every Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands and continental Europe. Next week, we'll probably figure out what Peter's eating. I want to do it. We'll get back on track. Mark will write something. We'll ask you to write something down, and we'll be here with you. But boys, how do people find you and get a hold of you?
Go ahead, Pierre. You go first. I'll go after you.
Dutch Carnivore, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and on only TikTok right now, also under Low Carb Perspective, where I talk about type 1 diabetes.
Excellent.
And if you want to find me, guys, I'm on Fitness Beyond Time, or I'm on social media at Fitness Beyond Time 01. And again, if anybody's interested in doing an interview with us, just send me an email at nsmark93@gmail.com.
And please don't forget about Carnivore Evolution, Victoria, Lisa, and Mark. They do these interviews. They've got Sarah Myhill, which is one you don't want to miss. They're on Spotify, YouTube. Go subscribe to them, and Apple Podcasts. We are trying to get on Rumble because I'm worried about what's going to be happening in Canada with this censorship crap that's going to be passing pretty quick here. So we'll be trying to expand our little podcast. We're going to try and get on Spotify as well. Now that I'm a little bit more free with the winter coming in, we'll have a little bit more time to Rick, I love it. We'll have a little bit more time to get this show going. We want to thank all of you guys for being here. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate you, Rick. Thank you for supporting us. And also, don't forget to get involved with the carnivore community worldwide. They're on YouTube. They're on Instagram. They've also got the Carnivore Worldwide Village. That's a little bit of a discussion, roundtable talk. Support this. We all have to get our acts together and push this way of living, this way of eating, this mindset into the world where we will not be silent. We will get louder. And if you're interested in getting a hold of me, you can find me at Tony_Food for Thought on Instagram and TikTok. And if you are interested in resetting your body, going back to basics with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for 21 days, I'm going to be taking some friends, family, and clients on a little journey. That little QR code on the top of the screen will send you to my website. You can get a hold of me or message me on an Instagram or even YouTube. But thanks everybody for being here, boys. Always a pleasure. We'll see you next week.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
see you next time.